Welcome back to another episode of Mafia. The thing in the corner is getting closer. I'm your host, and today we are going to be playing with 4 new people. We have New York City and Boston Dynamics joining us from the blue team alongside Red Rider and Donut Operator from the orange team. We're going to do it just like last time. You guys can see our setup. We got 3 microphones set up. We got 5 of our 8 players here. They can hear everything that's going on. They can hear the other players. They can hear the story. They can hear the creepypasta now. They can't see each other, though. All they can see is what is on their screen. Last time we had one of our contestants leave because they just did unwant to be on camera. So we're going to give them another chance here. If you don't want to be on camera, if you get selected, you can just type it out and we will read it. Okay, so hopefully nobody leaves this time. Now, as I said, we are going to go through a little bit of a story. It is a short story, but when it gets to the point where we start reading the creepypasta, I am going to split you guys up into 2 teams, and you're going to be reading your own separate creepypasta. You will now be able to hear the other person as creepypasta, but you won't be able to talk. Okay. Also, I forgot to say it last time, but I am recording this right now, so you guys won't be able to see anything on the monitor. This is being recorded, so it's not live. All right, let's get started. You guys can see we're inside of a mansion. It's very dark outside. Lightning is flashing. Thunder is booming. You guys can look around the room a little bit. You see some items scattered about. Maybe there's something you could use. Maybe there isn't. It's pretty dark. You can make out some things more than others. But let's get this story started. You guys find yourselves at this party. You guys were invited by one of your friends who attends this party every year. He is a part of a secret society here at the college you attend. And he invites you every year, but you always decline. This year you decided to accept. You walked in and you found everyone dressed in all black. Some of them were wearing masks. Others were just standing around in a circle talking. Some were sitting on couches. Music was playing. There was alcohol everywhere, and there were drugs everywhere. You felt uncomfortable immediately. Your friend introduced you around to a few people. They looked at you awkwardly and then went back to what they were doing. After a while, you excused yourself to go find your friend. As you walked down the hallway, you heard a voice. It came from behind a door. You couldn't make out what it was saying, but it sounded like someone was screaming in pain. Now, before I continue, I'm going to turn the lights off here in the studio. It's probably a good idea that you guys can experience this just like they are. That's better. All right, let's keep going. The door you passed had slightly ajar, and as you turned the corner, you could see a sliver of light underneath the door. You hesitated for a moment. Then you slowly pushed it open. You stepped inside and you shut the door behind you. You turned to close it, but it was too late. Someone had seen you, and you were now face to face with them. In front of you stood a figure. It was breathing heavily. Their eyes were wide, and they seemed panicked. You took a step back and asked them what they were doing. They turned their head towards you, revealing a ghastly white face. They were wearing a mask. Then they began to speak. Their voice was distorted and echoed strangely. "Who are you?" they asked. Their eyes were terrifying, you responded, telling them you were a guest of the party. They nodded slowly. You could see their eyes darting around the room, never settling in one place for long. Then, with a sudden burst of movement, they ran past you, knocking you over and escaping into the hallway. Startled, you brush yourself off and exit the room. You decide to find your friend and ask him questions later. And so that is where we're going to end the first part of the story. When we come back, we're going to split you guys up into 2 different rooms. You'll be listening to your own separate creepypasta. We'll have a break in between where I'll ask you guys some questions. We'll see how well you guys are doing. If anyone wants to leave, that's the point where you tell me. You can just type it out or say it into the microphone if you would like to leave the game. Obviously, if you're on camera, we'll have to wait until we're recording the outro to let you leave. But if you're not on camera, you can just leave whenever you want. Okay. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I know this format is different. We're trying something new here, which is why we only have 5 people on the screen. Normally, we do 6, but we thought it would be fun to try something new. Let me know if you guys like this format. I think it adds a lot of suspense. I think you guys can really get into the moment, especially with the lights being turned off and you can feel the atmosphere. Let me know what you guys think. Also, if you're enjoying the content, hit that subscribe button. It really does help out. I'm looking at the analytics and we're getting really close to a big milestone, which is really exciting. But we need your guys' support to be able to get there. So, please consider subscribing if you haven't already. Thank you again for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!